What's up, everyone? Welcome back here for another episode of Panthers versus the World. And thank you, everyone, so much for continuing to support us. Please like, share, comment, subscribe while you're here checking it out. Click the like button, and that'll really make producer Joel happy every time you click the like button. So please do it for his sake. And Jeremy, I'm sure it makes you happy too. And the Panthers winning, that makes me happy most of all.
As your name says, we got five more. More importantly, let's get this last one in the series tomorrow, 8 o'clock, American Bank Arena. One more chance to go ahead and win it on home ice and move on, just like last year, to the finals, Game 6. Let's do this.
Yeah, you could have said it better. That was beautiful. I mean, like you said, we got to do this on home ice. Just like last year, I think kind of the biggest storyline for me that we'll talk about over the course of the episode is just have we learned from the past two rounds? That was what I said after the first round, and now I really hope that they show it this round. I mean, you got a chance to close out here. It's going to be damn hard, as every game in this series has been to win. But you hope that they know what's in front of them, and by all accounts, they have all playoffs long, all season long. But they just have to find the extra year because now the Rangers are truly, truly going to play desperate hockey with their backs completely against the wall. No other option. So again, you got to find a way to ratchet up the intensity, take it to another level, which every game the Panthers have. But I mean, just again, Igor is answering the bell here every time. But you kind of hope that maybe with the season on the line now, the players for the Rangers they get a little nervous. I don't know if that even will make a difference. So again, because Igor has just been a rock back there, and again, I mean, as we were saying before, it really does feel like it's just can they beat Igor in this game, and not go to a game 7.
Yeah, it's exactly how it feels. Igor Shesterkin again in Game 5. I'm not sure if anyone else expected a different outcome, but Shesterkin again played up to his ability. He only allowed 2 goals, and one of them, was a little bit of a softie, but at the same time, great play by Tarasenko to go ahead and get a screen on the goalie, tie up the defenseman. Yeah, I don't even know if that's a save that Bob makes. It was a perfect shot from Lundell, got right between the armpit. Great shot, and of course there was the Forsling goal, which he got a piece of, but couldn't get all of it. A great play by Forsling and Sam Bennett. But again, Shesterkin weathered down the Florida Panthers offense. They could not get anything past them. They had so many great opportunities. Lundell was in front of the net with a between the leg shot. They had a few chances on net before that. I think we even had a breakaway at one point. I don't remember, but we had so many great opportunities on Shesterkin. We just could not find the back of the net for a good while. And tomorrow we have to find out. We have to find a way. Just go ahead and beat Shesterkin early, get him off his game early, and go from there. Because when the Panthers are able to get their offense going and are able to find out a way to beat Shesterkin, they're the amount the limit is there is no limit. The Panthers can go for a long time, and they just need to keep the puck in their own zone and figure out a way to consistently be able to beat Shesterkin just like they did in Game 3. And you know what? We're going to be on home ice. This is a time to go ahead and recreate that game, because if you recreate that game 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to win that game. You just have to hope Bob plays up to his potential.
Yeah, I mean that place is going to be electric on Saturday. Um, I think there'll probably be less Rangers fans than before. That's just my guess. Coupled with it not being Memorial Day weekend, and then yeah, I mean you could feel the air just taken out of MSG when it was 2-1, and then when it was 3-1, they left, and I thought for a moment, I mean, they almost killed me again. The Panthers, they when it went 3-2, and I thought we were gonna have shots to outside the stadium of the Rangers fans trying to get back in for overtime. My God, I mean, it's in the series. It's always a sweat. It's never easy. It's never over until the clock's at zero.
It's so tough. And
Sorry for
watching the game
my bad. I
last
think you're
night,
frozen.
test. Hello.
You're good. You're good.
Oh, I was gonna say yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it was a very tough game yesterday. I mean, you could see it just in the team and how they looked. I'm very proud of them honestly because it felt like when Kreider scored that goal, the breakaway, I was like, oh well, there's their core. Their core is starting to get going now. Sabancha had a point finally. Of course, Kreider scored his first goal of the series after the hat trick that he had against Carolina. Here comes the Rangers core. Panarin didn't score. They held down Panarin the entire game still. And right after that, the Panthers turned the Jets on right after that because after that play, the Panthers did not look back and they controlled the rest of the game. And the Panthers were able to hold the Rangers down. They didn't give them much breathing room at all. And their defense really took a turn. They were on the Rangers consistently. They didn't give them any scoring chances really besides the power play. And even our power play, our penalty kill, went to work immediately. They got a few clears. We faced two penalty kills after that, and both of them we killed off. And we again have killed like I think at one point it was 30 of our last 32. Now it's like 32 of our last 34, something like that. Might be 31 of our last 33, but the penalty kill has been on fire right now. It needs to stay that way because special teams currently feels like it's winning us the series right now with how close these games are. That penalty kill has been so huge for us. They can stay on top of that. It's big.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah. When that Kreider goal came, it just felt like finally, like these guys were gonna show up, like after all the media comments and everything. And I want to give credit to the Rangers. Like I think that was by far, in a way, the best game they played in this series so far. I thought they made great adjustments, and like honestly, like it was a pretty even game. Like I do think the Panthers in the third period controlled most of the play, but when they got that power play, the Rangers at in like the middle of the third after we dominated the first like 9 minutes, I was like, oh my God, like here we go again. Like we've been dominating them and then they're just gonna come right back and be opportunistic. And that's what they've been like this entire series. And I feel like the Panthers as well are a very opportunistic team, but not in this series. But in other series in the past, dating back to last year, like just when you gave them a chance, like the Panthers weren't gonna miss it. And I feel like that's what's happening with the Rangers. But the difference really has been that they just can't get the power play going. The Rangers and I don't know what that is necessarily. I think I want to give credit to the Panthers, but like the Panthers power play also hasn't been that great. And I don't think it's like necessarily something the Rangers are doing well. They did a good job on on the last two by not letting the Panthers get set up, but just the state of ice in MSG is just shocking. It's terrible, and they keep mentioning it and everything, but definitely something worth noting. So let's not go back there and test the ice for one more time. Yeah, I mean, I think the comments post game were great. Um, and but I think you have to adjust again because that really was a coin flip game, as all these games have been in this series, and they're one bounce away from the going the other way in two games in a row now. And again, I think the Rangers elevated their game and are going to be even more desperate now. So Panthers gotta adjust again. What those adjustments are, I don't know. One thing I thought the Rangers were doing a lot better was instead of they weren't doing this completely, but they with their defensemen, mainly Keandre Miller, they were bringing it up the ice more through the middle instead of just trying to dump it out through the sides with the Panthers. Panthers have been dominating. I think if Adam Fox was healthy, that'd be something that both of them could do. But without Fox healthy, it seems like the Panthers are just creating so many turnovers, which is just great to see. But then Igor is stopping them still. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as you were saying before, I thought it was very even. In my opinion, the Rangers controlled much of the first 30 minutes of the game. It felt like the first period was a little bit of a toss up, but I felt like the Rangers had the slight edge there. And of course, the first 10 minutes of the second period was all New York. It felt like, including a few minutes after they scored that Kreider goal, it felt like it was just all Rangers, and it did not look good at all because the Panthers couldn't get anything going. They couldn't get any opportunities, and all they needed was one. All the Panthers needed was one, and it was a Sam Bennett goal. I mean, the Sam Bennett pass to get Forsling going down the center of the ice in their own offensive zone that really got them going, because after that they got the momentum back and they were able to go ahead and get some key chances, though they couldn't score, but they were able to keep that momentum on their side. But I felt like the Rangers played a really solid first a few minutes of the third period. They played a really good last 10 minutes, I would say, of that third period, despite the Panthers, of course, winning the game and controlling a few of their own. But they really put the pressure on the Panthers. Bob stood high, and Rangers couldn't score. They couldn't get by them. But I thought they adjusted really well. It was really hard to see the Rangers lose in this game because they played a really good game against the Panthers. So the Panthers absolutely need to go ahead, and despite them winning, they know that they didn't play their greatest game. The greatest games came in game 3 and 4. They have to figure out a way to go ahead and adjust even more so they can get back to dominating. But for whatever reason, the games the Panthers have dominated feels like the Rangers have won. The games that that could have gone either way, the Panthers have won. So I don't
Yep.
know if it's a thing that the Panthers need to go ahead and just let the Rangers get back into it or what. But let's not have that happen. Let's go ahead and have an easy game 6. But yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
the issue is that they just need to adjust and put more pressure on the Rangers, and it's going to be really close.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think honestly, Sam Bennett was an absolute monster in this game.
Yeah,
And as the series has progressed, he's become more and more noticeable. I finally think he's, I don't want to say healthy because he's certainly not healthy, but he's at least at a point where he can use his hand, that whatever happened to it. You can even see now he's taking some face offs. Or maybe it's just like he's so far into the playoff now. He's like, I don't care. Like I'm this close. But I mean, he's just been a beast. He's still like has the occasional like blown tire where he just like is too fast for his own good. But I mean, he's just a monster, and that pass was incredible. And then just the little stuff he's doing. After he scores the goal, like hits Kreider at the end there, like, and then Kreider is just like, what the fuck? And then at the end, and then Panarin too hits him at the end. Panarin was pissed off. I mean, he's just the best, man. I love Sam Bennett so much. And all I can think about after he did those two things at the end of the game was game 4 last year when he just flatlines Jacob Slavin. I think we see something along those lines.
he's a
I'm not going to say,
monster.
yeah, he's going to like knock someone out cold, but he's just going to have a monster game. Again, I think in game 6, like to close out at home, like he's going to be all over the ice, flying, contributing, and especially him to be stepping up as much as he has is so great to see. And then as well, like Lundell and Listerinen, I feel like they haven't had like the best series. Honestly, like to me, I like he got on the score sheet, Listerinen. I think he's kind of had a rough playoffs compared to last year. I think mainly just he's like just putting it through the middle of the ice too much, and we haven't been burned on it yet. But I feel like just anytime, like just get out of the zone. Like as they can't score when it's not in the when it's in their defensive zone. And he's just scaring me passing up the middle. But nice to see that line get something going. And I don't know if you saw it, but Paul Maurice said that like even though Tarasenko, who's kind of everyone's been saying he's having a rough game, he's just being vocal on the ice, like really coaching up the young guys, and like then he drives the net, doesn't get a point, but yeah, it was nice to see him contributing and had an amazing block where he completely laid out for it and blocked it with his shin, which definitely he's been noticeably limping like in prior series and games. So for him to just lay it on the line like that, just awesome to see, and shows why he's a cup champ.
Yeah, I mean, we saw playoff Tarasenko and playoff Benny all of last night. Tarasenko and Bennett were probably, in my opinion, the two most impactful players on the ice. It felt like last night, besides guys like Forsling and Bob. But I thought all of last night that Tarasenko was really good in his own defensive end. He didn't really make any bad decisions. It felt like his offensive drive was pretty good. It felt like he was creating some chances. It looked like he was beating the Rangers a few times. But as you said, most importantly, when they needed him most, he was able to step up, block a shot, tie up a Ranger, and just get that puck in the net. He didn't get the point, but he knows that he created the chance for Lundell, because it felt like exactly like the Nick Cousins goal from last year with Rock Gudis tying up the defender, going ahead and getting that goal in Game
100%.
5 last year in overtime. That's exactly what it felt like. Another 3-on-2 opportunity. Tarasenko played a hell of a game. I'll give him his credit because I know he has had a little bit of a rough series, or a rough playoffs for his standards. The points aren't there, but what he, sometimes what you don't see on the score sheet, you see when you're watching the game live. And we especially saw it last night because he had so many big opportunities that really helped the team last night. So I mean, it was arguably, I think, in my opinion, his best game of the playoffs so far. I thought he was just so impactful. And then just going back to Sam Bennett, he was a beast last night. He was just a plain beast, simple as that. He had the passes from Forsling, he had the empty net goal. He was just creating so many chances, it felt like, on that line. And Bennett, I don't know if he is getting healthy or not, but you can see he thrives in this opportunity. He thrives in this moment, and he just continues to be such a huge weapon for the Panthers this playoffs and this season.
It's crazy that what Bill Zito has done just through trades, getting Bennett, Kachuk, like the list goes on and on. Forsling off waivers, like just completely hats off to him. Not to take a shot at Calgary, but I did see. I don't know if you got a chance to see it on Twitter. It was something along the lines like the Flames had like Dougie Hamilton, Sam Bennett, Kachuk, a list of like five other just superstar guys, and like they won like one playoff round in that time, or something. Which I mean, that's got to break your heart if you're a Flames fan. Um, but
And
yeah,
they
I mean,
had Johnny Gaudreau.
yeah, Johnny, yeah, it's crazy, crazy. They were so loaded. I don't know how they didn't do anything. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad those guys are on our team now. Um, yeah, I mean, the Rangers team, like they're it's going to be interesting to see what happens because, like I said, they're so opportunistic. I mean, they have six shorthanded goals, and I believe that's the same amount as every other team this playoffs combined. I believe they said that on the broadcast. It's just insane. That this team, like, they capitalize on any chance they get. And Igor's going to keep them in a game. I'm sure on the broadcast they will show like his numbers coming off a loss, and they're really, really good. So Panthers got to throw everything at him. Cannot let this go up to chance of a game seven. You cannot give them any lifeline here.
Yeah, I completely agree. And as you said, they're very opportunistic. It seems like the Panthers can dominate as much as possible. All you have to do is give them one. Ooh, voice crack. All you have to do is give them one moment, and the Rangers are there to capitalize on it. And we saw it in game number 4. It seemed like the Panthers had controlled the game in the third period, in the second, and all I did was give them one opportunity. The left Frenier standing in front of the net that the defenseman wasn't there. He poked it home. The Rangers thrive on these opportunities. They've done it the entire time. It felt like yesterday was the only game where they didn't necessarily capitalize on their opportunities, and even then, they still scored a really nice goal with Kreider that arguably should have happened, but you gave them a chance. They have, I think they said 6 shorthanded goals. I'm not sure if that's true or not in the
Yeah,
playoffs so far. And if that is true, that's crazy because that's shorthanded goals. Those are 6 shorthanded goals. That's a lot of shorthanded goals for that amount of time in the playoffs where you've only played 4, then you had 6, now you've had 5 so far. That's 15 games, and it's incredible. This team is really good. Their penalty kill is strong. The power play is strong, even though it hasn't gotten going. But I think honestly, their penalty kill has been the most impressive so far because they've put the pressure on the Panthers every single time. And more impressively, the Panthers have scored quite a few times in their power play too. They've going into last night's game was at a 33% chance, 33% of the series. and their play style, just giving them not much time to think about what they're going to do with the puck, has really worked, and it worked again yesterday because the Panthers kept turning the puck over in their zone, and leading to dump ins or leading to chances for the Rangers. Their penalty kill has been very strong. The Panthers have to figure out a way to go ahead and I know they've gotten going on the power play, but they got to make sure they keep on going. They got to make sure they keep putting the pressure on the Rangers because this team is too opportunistic. They're gonna break Bob at some point. They're gonna score a goal. It's just up to the Panthers if they can go ahead and be opportunistic themselves and get shots by Shesterkin when they need to.
Yeah, I mean this game is it's not going to be easy at all. Um, I mean I think the Panthers are ready for the test again. As I've said before, like, did you learn any lessons from the previous series? Um, that's what we're going to see. I mean, these games, the margins are so small, and the Panthers are content with what they are. I think they're playing the better hockey, but that doesn't mean much of anything. Um, Igor is still two robberies away from moving on and knocking the Panthers out. They have to play like it's 0-0. They have to play like they're the team down 3-2. All the cliches to get back to the Cup Finals. And I mean, it's crazy to think that they're in this spot again after how long the Panthers have had down years for. I also saw since the Kachuk trade, the Panthers have had the most wins, playoff wins, with 24. And then I think it was Dallas had the second most with 19, I believe. Just crazy how impressive this team is. You can never count them out. They're such a resilient group. They want it so bad. You could tell it takes everyone to do it too. The game puck going to Gadjo was pretty cool. If you saw that,
Yeah,
um,
that was so that was so cool to see because this team is such a family, and that proved it last night. Mikola could have given it to anyone. He gave it to Gadjevich. It was, there in the corner in his little suit and tie and everything. Uh, Dadjevich over there goes ahead and gets the game puck, which is amazing to see. It was so cool. And just proved this team is such a family and so like tight knit as it looks.
yeah. I don't know if there's going to be any lineup changes. I don't know exactly. I'm trying to look it up right now. To be honest with you, how many minutes Lawrence played, but I think it wasn't much. I wouldn't be shocked if he came out of the lineup for Lomberg. I don't
He
think that's
should, in my opinion.
yeah, I would have no issue with that. And then Okposo, I feel like is just getting so close to a goal. Does take the penalty, but I mean, that was a whatever call. The guy at center ice called it, and then I mean, my God, how did you feel after Mikola ran into Igor and it looked like they were gonna get a 5-on-3? I was like, oh my God, like it's over, it's over, it's over.
It it didn't look good, I'll tell you that, because Miko goes ahead and runs into Igor. Of course, he's not trying to. He's playing the rebound, so
Yeah,
there's no
Lawrence 4 minutes on the ice, 4 minutes 18 seconds ice time.
yeah. And then if you look on the other side too, no, Matt Rempe didn't have a single shift in the entire third period. He only played around 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
2 minutes
He
43 seconds.
Yeah, so like he rarely played at all. He only had like four shifts, someone said.
I bet he'll
So
be out of the lineup.
it would
Just
make
just
sense,
yeah.
especially going to Florida. It would
You
make
don't
sense
need him
because
at this
yeah,
point.
exactly. I mean, he's not going to be getting the crowd going. He's going to be on the road. I could easily see him coming out of the lineup, which I mean, coming out of the lineup at this point, he hasn't done anything. It seems like, so it could honestly be beneficial for them. Which, hearing that now and saying that, I think they should keep him in the lineup because it would help
Me
us.
too.
So, but with that being said, though, yeah, I think Lawrence didn't really play impressively. I don't think he's been impressive these last two games. He's been solid, but I think we've seen a lot more from Ryan Lomberg. So I think, especially after his games like 1, 2, and 3, where he actually kind of bulldozed guys like Rempe over and everything, you could easily go ahead and put him back in the lineup because I think he brings a little bit more of the it factor than Lawrence does. And I don't want to go ahead and like say Lawrence has been bad, because he hasn't necessarily been. He honestly, maybe we're not even here after Lawrence had that big goal in game number 2 against the Bruins. Lawrence was huge in that series against Boston, and he played a really solid series against Tampa too. But overall, Lomberg provides more value to this team than someone like Lawrence. And if you want to keep him in the lineup, the last thing I want to see though is just I don't want to see Nick Cousins in the series. I don't think he provided anything. In my opinion, it goes to Lomberg just because he provided a lot of opportunities and he turned a lot of pucks over. It looked like or made forced turnovers for the Rangers. So in my opinion, put Lomberg in that lineup and you sub him over Lawrence, and that fourth line can finally get going again. Because in my opinion, the fourth line hasn't been too noticeable these last two games, so they need to get going. And I think Lomberg could be a big factor to that.
Yeah, to me, just the caliber that Shesterkin is playing right now, like I don't really necessarily like not blame, but like I don't. It just feels impossible to me for the fourth and third line to really like do anything when you're playing a goalie this good. And you just if you're not going to be able to score, or to score a timely goal, you just got to get off the ice, play sound defensive hockey, and just hit guys. And yeah, and that's what Lomberg would bring to the table. So I agree. I'd have no problem with it if they keep Lawrence in though. Like you said, I don't think he's playing bad, so I don't have a problem with it either. But I think Okposo definitely has to stay in. I wouldn't do a double switch and put Cousins and Lomberg in.
I
Um,
completely agree. I mean, Opozo has been so impressive this entire. He's shown that without a doubt, he still has stuff left in the tank. He might be older, but he's very clearly one. It feels like he's one of the better players on the ice every single time he steps on it. He's played above
mhm.
average. He hasn't been bad at all. He's been really good, in my opinion. He's been incredibly valuable to this team, and that's another showcase of Bill Zito getting a steal off the market when it looked like really you're getting Opozo, you're getting like an older veteran. Is he even going to play? He has played and he's been really important. Another guy where he's created so many opportunities for the Panthers, and of course none of them have really gone in. He hasn't gotten a goal yet, but
It's coming. It's
it's
coming.
it's coming. It's at this point you can smell it because every single time he's on the ice, he's creating opportunity. He's played great defensively. He's putting the forecheck on. He plays a style of hockey really aggressively and really good. And I think he fits in the system really well, and he's proving that he's been an incredible ad for this team.
Yeah, and there's plenty of like other talking points to talk about of like exterior, like outside of the game, but like to be honest, I'm too scared to talk about all them of like the trophy debate and all this. You got to focus on the game, just like the Panthers. Yeah, exactly. I think those are always fun stuff to discuss, but there's a time and a place. We'll talk about that after Game 6. But yeah, I mean, I just think that what this team has done is so impressive. They're so resilient. Everything they've done in the past 2 years and even beyond that has just made me so proud to be a Panthers fan. Everything like from thinking of how this team was back in the day, growing up watching them, and to look at them now, like they're playing like the best hockey team in the NHL, for almost 3 out of the past 4 years, or like not the best the past 2 years, I would say, but they played at a level where they certainly could beat anyone on any given day in any setting in the playoffs. And that's something you would have never thought before. Just guys stepping up time after time again. Like Gustav Forsling is now, I think, the most underrated player in the NHL, but I mean, how he's performed in these playoffs, like if you're anyone with a pulse, you see his value and are like, how the hell did he sign for only his cap hit of which I can't exactly think of, but it's incredible that they got him for that cheap. I mean, this guy scored big goals now in 2 series. Um, just amazing, and he's a rock defensively. Ekblad's been stepping up, I think, more recently. I think what the Panthers are specifically doing that I want to just give them credit for is they're not making like the big mistake. They did make one, then that was it. Like Kachuk going in on the power play, leading to the shorthanded goal, was like the only big mistake I feel like they made in that game. There was maybe like a penalty or two, but they have been killing it on the penalty kill. So how can you say that there was a costly mistake? Really. And then you go look, they had one giveaway, and it was Ekblad, and that's just amazing in a NHL conference finals playoff game to only have one giveaway is incredible. This team is just playing so well right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. And now you're heading on home ice. One thing as we've said before, we're playing on a much better sheet of ice. So this is going to be a lot different of a game. We could see another high scoring game most likely because both games that have happened on the Panthers home ice, we had 5 goals scored in total in game 4. We had 9 goals in game number 3. We could go ahead and see another more likely high scoring game necessarily. Not we saw 5 last night. But of course, the sheet of ice was probably the worst that's been. It looked like because the puck was just bouncing all over the place. No good bounces. It looked like. So now we're going to be on a different sheet of ice again, one that the Panthers are much more used to playing on. This isn't this isn't bad. This is going to be really good for the Panthers, and it's going to be really good for the Rangers. So the Panthers need to just go ahead and you just gotta have to go ahead and figure out a way to just match their level of effort and match their level of energy going into game number 6. New sheet of ice, new problems to go against. So let's go ahead and let's see how this team adjusts to it. It's going to be really important.
Yeah, I think this is a game where, like you said, if you could get an early goal and just make them start to
I completely
sweat,
agree.
yeah, that'd be everything. I think back to game 4 of last year in the conference finals, I believe it was Duclair scored like a
Yes,
goal like a minute or two in. And I mean that just throws the game plan out the window. Like whatever the Rangers.
it got the crowd into it immediately
Yeah.
too. Like even though of course Carolina had their comeback and they won. I mean, and they almost won that game. Besides the Kachuk, miracle finish, the Panthers got that lead and almost looked like they never went back because even though Bob had a little bit of a struggle of a game that night, that the crowd was consistently in it and they never went out. That crowd was always in it, no matter the score. The Panthers have a great fan base when it's this time of year. They know how to be loud. They're going to be loud tomorrow. They know what's at stake. I just can't wait for tomorrow night. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Nervous, but like an excited nervousness. And the way these games have gone, I'm sure I'll be nervous the entire game. But if we could get an early one and just make them start to sweat, make them start to grip the stick tighter, I think that's a recipe for success here. And yeah, I mean, I'll give a bold score prediction. I'm gonna go with 4-1 Panthers. I think that they're gonna get out to like a early lead, and then the Rangers are gonna have to press, and the Panthers um, score two empty net goals, and then possibly Rangers garbage time goal again or something. But yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna see the best game of the Panthers in the playoffs, and then they got to elevate again, and then the real challenges really start again. You got to finish this in 6, though. You can't give them an inch because I mean, my gosh, if they throw them a lifeline here, the guard in Game 7, as we know, anything can happen in Game 7. Do not leave it up to chance. Capitalize on the opportunity. Any closing thoughts for the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. I did last time, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I'm gonna go ahead and say. Actually, I might have predicted the wrong. I might have to go ahead and see. I don't remember if I said 3-2 or not, but I feel like I did, but I'm not sure. I don't want
I
to give
said
myself
three
false
one,
credit.
and I was like, "Ooh,
You
I
came
got
very
it."
close because oh man, of course. And if only that hooligan Lafreniere didn't
He's
ruin it.
been incredible again. I mean, he's been their best
I
forward.
remember seeing last night because I remember when the Rangers scored and I'm like, oh, here they come, and then they said, oh, it's Lafreniere with the goal. I was like, can this guy go away?
Yeah.
Like he had to have his legacy series against us out of every team. He couldn't have done it against Carolina or something. No, it has to be against us. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be a final score of 4-2. I think you said 4-1, so I'm gonna go ahead and say 4-2. I think it's gonna come down to I think the Panthers go ahead and take a quick 1-0 lead. I think it's going to be like 1-1, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, and I think the Panthers go ahead and score. Or no, not 3-3, 4-2. It needs to be 1-1, 2-2, and then 3-2, and the Panthers score an empty netter and make it 4-2 and win it. and go ahead and send this team back to the finals for the second time in the last 2 years. And hopefully this time, if it happens, we win it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves because we still have to win one more. But
Focus. We gotta focus. We
I'm
gotta
go.
focus.
We gotta focus. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want this team. I want this team in there so bad because this team deserves it. And I'm gonna go ahead and So I'm gonna go ahead and say the Panthers win Game 6, so a final score of 4-2, and we win it. I'm gonna go ahead and say the most important player that's gonna happen tomorrow is gonna be Carter Verhaeghe.
Yeah, I can see a big Verhaeghe goal. I'm calling my shot here. I'll probably call it every. I don't know if I'll call it every game, but I'm feeling Okposo's getting a big goal. It's getting a big
It,
goal
it,
at
it
some
smells
point in
like
these
it. It really
playoffs.
does smell like it.
I'd love for it to be in the finals, but I'll take it now too. It's a big goal at some point. Let's get it here, Game 6. Big moment for him. Been a while since he's been in the playoffs, and I want it for him. He's been right around the net the whole time, so let's see it. And yeah, let's move on to the next round, baby. All right, when we will be here with more episodes left, hopefully a lot more left. Um, but yeah, for us here at Panther vs. World, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you, Evan, for listening, and go Cats go.